The genius way to master your 24 hours every day begins with one realization. Time is the only asset every human receives equally, yet the results people create with that time are drastically different. The difference isn't in the clock. The difference is in the choices. Most people wake up reacting to life, responding to emergencies, answering demands, and wondering why their day feels out of control. But those who rise above the average understand something deeper. They don't wait for time, they direct it. They know that when purpose leads, time follows. When clarity shows up, confusion disappears. When intention becomes the compass, distraction loses its power. Every day begins with a decision, not an alarm clock. The first hour of your morning determines the quality of the next 23. If you start your day in chaos, running, rushing, checking, scrolling, your mind becomes scattered before the day even begins. But if you start with silence, strategy, gratitude, movement, or prayer, the day bends in your favor. Your morning isn't just another moment, it is the ignition of your momentum. Momentum is not emotional, it is mechanical. When you start strong, you continue strong. When you start intentional, you continue intentional. The truth is, you don't need more time, you need more focus. People say they want more hours, but more hours without discipline only multiplies disorder. Focus is the superpower of ordinary people. It transforms a simple hour into a productive force. Every minute you protect from distraction becomes a minute invested into your destiny. Every notification you ignore becomes a deposit into your clarity. Genius is not intelligence, it is disciplined attention. When attention is mastered, time bends, expands, and obeys. Wishing is easy. Planning is power. A genius doesn't sit around hoping for a miracle. He writes a schedule that forces action. You will never drift into greatness. You must plan it, prepare for it, and walk into it. Your schedule is not a cage, it is a compass. It doesn't restrict you, it guides you. When you plan your day, you remove emotional decision-making. You stop negotiating with procrastination. You stop letting feelings override your future. A plan transforms vague dreams into visible steps. But even a plan is useless without consistency. Consistency is what turns the hours you have into assets that grow. Your 24 hours are not just blocks of time, they are seeds. What you plant today compounds tomorrow. When you repeat the right actions long enough, your hours begin producing interest. You start reaping momentum, confidence, opportunity, and mastery. Consistency makes you predictable in the spirit of excellence. It builds habits that don't rely on motivation. It creates results that are inevitable. To master your 24 hours, you must choose high-value activities over low-return habits. Your time has a return on investment. Everything you do either builds your future or borrows from it. Every conversation, every task, every habit carries a cost or a reward. When you learn to identify what moves you forward and what holds you back, your entire life elevates. Geniuses are not faster, they are clearer. They stop wasting time on things that don't matter. They stop giving energy to people who drain them. They stop chasing distractions disguised as opportunities. They do less, but what they do matters more. Mastering your 24 hours isn't about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about aligning your actions with your purpose. It's about becoming intentional with every moment. It's about recognizing that time is not passing. You are passing through time. Every day is a chance to rewrite your story, restructure your habits, and redirect your destiny. When you win your hours, you win your days. When you win your days, you win your weeks. And when you win your weeks, your future becomes undeniable. So make the decision today, not tomorrow, not someday, to treat your time like the treasure it is. Protect your focus like your life depends on it. Eliminate the noise that steals your energy. Choose actions that honor your potential. Because mastering your 24 hours is not just a skill, it is a mindset, a discipline, a lifestyle. And once you master your time, you master your life. Time obeys those who prioritize with purpose because time is not random. It responds to direction. Most people claim they don't have enough hours in the day, but the truth is they haven't decided what truly matters. When you lack priorities, everything looks urgent. When you live without purpose, everything becomes a distraction. But the moment you decide what is essential, time begins to rearrange itself around your decisions. Purpose gives your day structure. Purpose filters out the unnecessary. Purpose sharpens your yes and strengthens your no. Without purpose, time slips away quietly. With purpose, time becomes a servant instead of a master. When you know what matters most, your actions follow your assignment. Suddenly, the things that used to steal your attention lose their appeal. The things that used to overwhelm you become manageable. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. You stop fighting against the clock and start making the clock work for you. Prioritization isn't about doing more. It's about doing what moves your life forward. It's choosing progress over noise, choosing clarity over chaos, choosing destiny over distraction. When you operate with purpose, your schedule becomes intentional. You don't wake up wondering what to do. You wake up knowing exactly why you're doing it. You feel a sense of direction. You walk with clarity. You move with conviction. And because your priorities are aligned, time stretches, expands, and multiplies. What used to take hours now takes minutes because your focus is sharp and your energy is directed. Time itself becomes an ally, not an enemy. The truth is simple. If you don't decide your priorities, someone else will. If you don't define your purpose, the world will distract you with its noise. But when you commit to living on purpose, your time becomes powerful. Your hours become meaningful. Your day becomes productive. And instead of surviving the day, you command it. This is the genius of mastering your time. When purpose takes the lead, time willingly follows. Morning momentum determines daily mastery because the start of your day sets the temperature for everything that follows. The morning is not just another block of time. It is the command center of your entire 24 hours. Most people lose the day before it even begins because they wake up reacting instead of creating. They open their eyes and immediately hand their focus to notifications, problems, and noise. But when you claim your morning with intention, you seize control of your destiny before the world can demand a single thing from you. Your morning is where you train your mind before life tests it. It's where you build your discipline before circumstances challenge it. It's where you anchor your purpose before distractions pull you away from it. When you start your day with clarity, gratitude, movement, reflection, or strategy, you prime your mind for productivity. You set a tone of leadership instead of passiveness. You tell the day who you are instead of letting the day decide it for you. Momentum is a powerful force. Once it starts moving in the right direction, it carries you forward with ease. A strong morning creates that momentum. It sharpens your focus, stabilizes your emotions, and strengthens your decision-making. When your morning is intentional, you approach the day with a calm mind and a confident spirit. You're not rushed, you're ready, you're not overwhelmed, you're organized. You're not distracted, you're determined. Mastery doesn't happen by accident. It happens by rhythm, and the rhythm of mastery begins in the morning. If you win the first hour, you win the direction of the day. If you start grounded, you stay grounded. If you start disciplined, you stay disciplined. A scattered morning leads to a scattered day, but an aligned morning leads to an aligned life. This is why the morning is not something you should fit in. It is something you should protect. Guard it from chaos, guard it from noise, guard it from anything that weakens your spirit or clouds your clarity. Because when you command the morning, the day bows to your leadership. When you build momentum early, mastery becomes natural. And when you start with intention, you finish with excellence. Focus is the superpower of ordinary people because it turns average ability into extraordinary results. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. If you can focus, you can outperform people who have more advantages than you. Focus is the great equalizer. It takes a simple idea and turns it into a breakthrough. It takes a small effort and multiplies it into mastery. Most people fail not because they lack time or talent, but because their attention is scattered. They chase everything and catch nothing. They start many things and finish none. They let distractions drain the very energy they need for their destiny. When you focus, you take control of your life at the deepest level. You decide what gets your attention and what does not. You stop being pulled in every direction by noise, notifications, and unnecessary obligations. Instead of allowing the world to dictate your agenda, you protect your mental space like the treasure it is. Because the truth is, your future is not shaped by what you occasionally do. It is shaped by what you consistently give attention to. Where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, results grow. Focus sharpens your thinking. It gives your actions accuracy. It multiplies your productivity. One focused hour can do more for your future than 10 distracted hours. Focus takes the complicated and makes it simple. It takes the overwhelming and makes it manageable. It eliminates the unnecessary so the essential can finally breathe. When you focus, you stop being busy and start being effective. You stop trying to do everything and start doing what actually matters. Ordinary people become extraordinary by locking in on one direction, one priority, one mission. Focus creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence fuels consistency, and consistency produces greatness. Every genius, every achiever, every world changer didn't get where they are by doing everything. They got there by focusing on the right thing long enough for it to grow. When you learn to protect your focus, you protect your future. Because distractions are the enemy of destiny. They don't just steal time, they steal potential. But when your focus becomes disciplined, your results become undeniable. That's why focus is the superpower anyone can access, but only the committed benefit from. Once you master your attention, you master your power. And once you master your power, your life becomes unstoppable. Planning turns wishes into workable steps because it transforms your dreams from something you hope for into something you can actually build. Most people live in the world of someday I'll start, someday I'll improve, someday I'll change, but someday is not a day on the calendar. Someday is where wishes go to die. Without a plan, dreams remain ideas floating in your mind, never becoming actions in your life. But the moment you put structure to your vision, everything shifts. You give your dreams shape. You give your future direction. You turn the invisible into something you can measure, track, and execute. A plan is a blueprint for your destiny. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Because a plan removes guesswork. It removes emotional decision-making. It removes the daily battle of should I or shouldn't I. A plan tells you exactly what to do so your feelings can't talk you out of it. When you plan your day, your week, or your goals, you break your vision into steps that are manageable instead of overwhelming. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today. You just have to take the step your plan tells you to take. Planning also forces clarity. It makes you choose what matters and what doesn't. It pushes you to prioritize instead of drift. It helps you identify what brings progress and what brings procrastination. When you plan, you control your time instead of letting time control you. Planning is not about packing your day with activity. It's about aligning your effort with your purpose. It's about putting your energy where your destiny needs it most. A plan creates accountability. It gives you checkpoints, milestones, and markers that show whether you're moving forward or standing still. It turns big goals into small victories that build confidence, and confidence that builds momentum. And momentum is a force that makes progress automatic. Greatness never appears out of thin air. It is the result of intentional steps repeated over time. And those steps come from a plan. A dream without a plan is a wish. A plan without action is a delay. But a plan executed with consistency becomes transformation. When you choose to plan your life, you are choosing to become the architect of your future instead of a spectator in it. Planning is not just organization, it is empowerment. It is how ordinary people create extraordinary outcomes. Consistency makes your 24 hours compounding assets because anything you repeat with discipline eventually grows beyond the effort you put in. Most people underestimate the quiet power of doing the right things day after day, not because it's complicated, but because consistency doesn't give instant rewards. It's slow, it's steady, it's invisible at first. But what you do consistently becomes who you become permanently. Your habits become your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. The truth is, your hours are not just blocks of time, they are investments. Every action you repeat is a deposit into your future. If you deposit distractions, you get disappointment. If you deposit discipline, you get development. If you deposit excuses, you get stagnation. But if you deposit effort, every single day, focused, intentional, purposeful effort, your life begins to compound. Compounding doesn't look powerful at the beginning, but it becomes unstoppable over time. Consistency transforms ordinary days into extraordinary outcomes. You don't have to make giant moves. You just have to make consistent moves. A little progress each day becomes massive progress over months and years. People look at the end result and call it talent or luck, but in reality, it's the invisible accumulation of consistent effort. When you show up repeatedly, even when you don't feel like it, you train your mind to trust your own discipline. You build momentum that makes progress feel natural instead of forced. Consistency also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, You strengthen your identity as someone who follows through. Confidence is not built by big achievements. It's built by the daily act of doing what you said you would do. When your actions are consistent, your results become reliable. You stop operating from emotion and start operating from conviction. This is how your 24 hours turn into compounding assets, not by doing everything perfectly, but by doing the right things regularly. The same way money grows through compounding interest, your life grows when good actions accumulate. Your skills sharpen, your habits solidify, your mindset strengthens, your opportunities expand. You become someone who doesn't just take action. You become someone who can't be stopped. Your future isn't determined by what you do occasionally. It's shaped by what you do consistently. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is transformative. And when you commit to consistent effort, your 24 hours stop being ordinary. They become powerful engines of growth. Over time, consistency turns discipline into destiny. High-value activities create high-value results because not all actions carry the same weight, the same impact, or the same return on your future. People often stay busy but never move forward because they fill their day with low-value tasks, things that feel urgent but accomplish nothing meaningful. Activity is not accomplishment. Busyness is not progress. You can spend your entire day doing small things and still end the day feeling empty. But the moment you shift your energy toward high-value actions, everything in your life begins to elevate. High-value activities are the actions that actually move the needle. Actions that build your skills, strengthen your mindset, grow your relationships, increase your income, or advance your purpose. These are the choices that multiply your future instead of just helping you survive your present. When you commit to high-value work, you stop living reactively and start living strategically. You stop allowing the world to dictate your priorities and start designing a life that aligns with your destiny. The power of high-value activities lies in their ability to create ripple effects. One high-value action can open doors you didn't know existed. One disciplined hour invested in learning, creating, building, or planning can produce opportunities for years. One conversation with the right person can shift your entire direction. High-value actions have impact beyond the moment you take them. They generate results long after the effort is over. This is why clarity matters. When you know what matters most, you stop wasting energy on things that don't matter at all. You begin to see how much of life is filled with distractions disguised as obligations. You begin to protect your time with fierceness because you understand the cost of misusing it. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes only to what builds you, grows you, or positions you for your next level. High-value activities require intentionality. They require discipline. They require the courage to do fewer things, but do them with excellence. You don't need to fill your schedule. You need to elevate your priorities. Low-value habits create low-value results. High-value choices create high-value results. The quality of your future is directly tied to the quality of the actions you choose today. When you shift your focus to high-value activities, deep work, strategic planning, skill development, relationship building, personal growth, you begin to operate on a different level. Your results become predictable. Your success becomes measurable. Your life becomes intentional instead of accidental. Your destiny isn't determined by how much you do. It's determined by how wisely you choose what you do. And when your actions carry value, your life produces value. High-value activities create high-value results. That's not motivation, that's math. In conclusion, mastering your 24 hours every day is not about luck, talent, or having more time. It is about making your time work for you. It is about prioritizing with purpose so that every action aligns with your vision, protecting your morning to build momentum that carries you through the day, and harnessing focus to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary results. It is about turning your dreams into actionable steps through planning, allowing consistency to compound your efforts, and committing to high-value activities that create high-value results. When you live with intention, discipline, and clarity, your hours become more than just time. They become assets that build your future, shape your identity, and multiply your impact. The life you desire is not a distant possibility. It is created in the decisions you make every hour, every day. Master your 24 hours, and you master your life. Step into your power, protect your time, focus on what matters, and watch as your days transform into unstoppable momentum toward your destiny.